I got really clear. I had this like voice from source saying, you are here to transform the consciousness of money into a conduit for love and connection.
Welcome to the Zen Den, a podcast designed to help you discover your authentic inner peace. These episodes are intended for everyone, regardless of their background. We explore the question, how can we find inner peace in today's world? Together, let's awaken our higher consciousness and allow our individual truths to shine. It's time to learn how to live in harmony. Your host, Maggie Calder, a former Buddhist nun monk who studied directly with respected spiritual masters, shares her wisdom on the infinite possibilities of life. Now, here's Maggie with today's episode of the Zen Den.
Hello, welcome to the Zen Den. What a pleasure to have you here. I am so happy today because I have an amazing lady with us today that you're going to love. The title is Not a Money Problem, It's a Money Pattern. Let's find out a little bit about this, shall we? Hello, welcome Brenda St. Louis. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. This is really exciting to be able to talk about money, my favorite topic in the world.
Do you want to share first a little bit about yourself and everything, and then we can...
I am a financial therapist and a money coach, and I've been doing this work for probably about 16 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's been my life calling and my purpose to work with people and communities and our cultural influences around money so that we can create, I imagine money being a conduit for love and connection.
Nice.
And it feels like we treat money as if it's just this inanimate thing, or many people say money is energy and money is this. And I have a little different take on money. And I feel like money is a relationship. Okay. It's like a relationship to anything in our lives. So my passion and my purpose in the world is to use how we're relating with money to open up our bodies, our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with the planet, our communities, each other. And I think money can be a conduit for so many things. And one thing that I always say to people is, I'm a body worker. I've been a somatic healer for most of my life. For 25 years, I was a registered massage therapist, craniosacral therapist, and I just love anything that's about unlocking ourselves and our body. And I always say to people is we wouldn't need money if we didn't have a body. We wouldn't need to dress ourselves, fly ourselves, eat, do all the things. So they're so intimately related, our body and money.
So I've had the pleasure of working with you and being in some of your workshops, and they're just really great because what I love about it, it fits the real Zen thing for sure, is it just really points to look at this and here we go this way and it moves. It's so incredible. You were mentioning to me something about having a relationship with money. Can you share a little bit about that? That was very interesting.
I think when I first started doing this work, I was realizing that my own relationship with money was non-existent. But it's not true. Actually, we all have a relationship with money, whether or not we're paying attention to it or not. But I was living this life where I was a really good manifester. Yeah. If I wanted something, it would happen. And it often happened out of desperation when I was like on the edge. Oh, if this doesn't happen, everything's screwed. And I was like, why do I have to wait until I'm desperate before I can create something?
Okay, that's good. Yep, I get that.
So there was this energy around I'd get onto people's, like figuratively, I'm saying, I'd get onto people's yachts. I'd have these wonderful parties. We'd be in these beautiful cars, and I'd have this great opulent life, but it wasn't my money. It was someone else's.
Interesting.
And then that relationship would deteriorate or something would happen, and I'd be thrown off the yacht, figuratively, hanging onto my PFD, waiting for the next yacht to come by. And I made a promise to myself. I said, I want my own yacht. But it wasn't just the yacht. It was like, I want to create a foundation financially that I can build something on and for that would allow my gifts into the world in a powerful way. So I needed to understand money.
You're right.
So I started to learn day trading and all of this stuff. And it was like, okay, I understand a little bit about it, but it still feels like this. I'm dyslexic. I was told I was not smart with numbers, which is not true, as I know now. But I had this weird, wonky relationship with money where I had to work in order to get it. It was like very transactional. I had to put effort in order to receive it. So I was a very hard worker until I didn't want to be, and then I wouldn't, and then I wouldn't have any money. And then there was just this time I was living in Korea for about 10 years, and then I moved to Vancouver, and I had a big breakup, and my heart was wrecked, and I just wanted to feel happy. And so I went to clown school. And in clown school, it's a longer story, but in clown school, I went into this trance, and it was like there's this shamanic journey that you go through, and I got really clear. I had this like voice from source saying, you are here to transform the consciousness of money into a conduit for love and connection.
Wow. Okay. So that's beautiful. In the pattern of the relationship of money, did you notice it at that time, that the shift that you could make with that?
It was interesting because my journey has gone, like I've learned so much about how all of us relate with money in my own journey of discovery of how we all have a very poor relationship with money. Even if you have a lot of money.
Well, there's even a sense like scared I'm going to lose it, or fearful I'm not going to have it. There's all these stories of it's not really a relationship. It's having or not having.
Yeah, that's a relationship. If you're in a relationship with a person, you're either in a relationship with a person or you're not.
Yes, but that flow of that partnership of wanting each other to shine, how do you get that flow of wanting money the partnership to money to allowing that partnership to shine? How do you shine?
Well, okay, I can't answer that in one sentence, but I can go on a journey with you around it.
Okay, we only have so many minutes in the podcast, but let's hone it down. And we know that many of us have a pattern with money that is, give me 3 points that's a common pattern with money.
Also, I'd like to include our body when we're talking about this, because we get this information when our body tightens up, or you feel seen, or you feel shame, or anything around money, because that's also a relationship with money, because your body's talking to around it. So it's a little more layered than that. So like a good pattern would be overgiving.
Okay.
Someone that's overgiving and overgiving and overgiving. That's not a money problem. It's a pattern. And we usually learn it from our family of origin.
Okay.
And it's usually never taught to us. It's usually in the silence we learn it, that if you give, you get maybe some accolades or kindness. Or in the modeling, you might see your mother do it all the time, and you know that's what you do as a woman. But a lot of times overgiving is sometimes a place of you not feeling like you have love. You're using it in a replacing of having love.
To kind of give the feeling of igniting that within yourself.
Yeah. So when you're relating to money in a relationship kind of way, you're saying, okay, I'm an overgiver. I'm an overspender. I'm a I worry all the time, or I want to control everything.
Okay.
All of those behaviors are indicators of a pattern that you've used in order to survive, in order to make this world work for you. And when you start to relate to those patterns in a way of going, okay, so if I stop doing that, what would happen?
Let's slow down for a second. So now I recognize I'm an overgiver, okay? And I'm like, wow, yeah. And I leave myself like $10 when I've given I'm just giving you an example. So how do I shift? Okay, so I see that. What's the shift there to shift old patterns or patterns that I've learned from my family that aren't serving me, especially in the way the world is today, and move them into a pattern of that good relationship that I feel with money?
So people want to go to fixing it. And we do that in our relationship. If I just said this word, or if I just apologize that, then it would fix it. But it happens from the bottom up, first of all.
Okay.
So if you're overgiving, you need to see what is underneath that pattern. I don't know for you, I don't know if you want to unpack it, but there's a lot of, like, some people might overgive, and I call them in the money archetype the caregiver. They give and give, and then they get resentful because either people are not being grateful for what they gave, or they're depleted, or the person is not actually creating change in their life, or whatever. There's expectations to it. And a caregiver is in a power position. They don't have to be vulnerable because they don't know how to receive. So if you're always giving and never receiving, it's a place of protecting you from disappointment, from someone not showing up. It could be a lot of things. If you're overgiving, it could be because that's where you want love. That's where love came when you were a kid. You come to dad and you give him a lollipop, and he's like, oh, thank you. You're like, oh, you get acknowledgement. So everyone's doing it for a different reason. But when you start to look at that place of, okay, if I stopped giving, that would mean what? And then you're like, okay, so for example, if I stopped giving, that would mean no one would want to be my friend anymore.
Or selfish.
Or people would judge me as being selfish.
Right.
That's another layer. That's not always from overgiving. That's from another piece of, we shame ourselves into action. And no one gets wealthy from shaming themselves.
So in moving from this, I know many people who have different layers of difficult money relationships. So seeing money as like a relationship. We have a relationship with healthy food or taking care of our bodies by working out or whatever. How do you move this relationship?
We're in a podcast, so we're putting a light on the places that we create patterns with our money. Okay? That we're creating patterns in it. So you look at these patterns, and these patterns keep you safe.
Okay.
So the only way to shift them is to, when you're not doing them in a structured container, say a class or something that we're working through those pieces, and you create safety, can you rewire? But you can't rewire if you are judging yourself for doing this and then trying to do another behavior that's different. It doesn't rewire the behavior. Rewiring the behavior is to peer into it, see it. Why are you doing it? What safety is it giving you? And to create the safety in another way, to rewire it in a different way.
So would it be optimal for someone to maybe do just a short course to learn how to rewire themselves? Because if they could rewire themselves, wouldn't we be doing it already? We would be rewiring already if we could. So maybe we need to do some kind of wisdom around it, or education, because you can read so many books about money and they give you a little inspiration. For me, they gave me a little inspiration. Oh, yeah, I get that. And after a period of time, it just diminished off. Yet when I did your course, for me, sorry for cutting you off there, but when I did your course, I found it difficult because I was guided to look at something that I didn't want to look at.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I didn't want to look at it until I was in that place, feeling safe in your environment, in the environment, to look at it. And I remember spending a day going, what? To myself. And then it just went click. Ah.
I think that there's stages to change. And one of them, of course, is acknowledgement, awareness, seeing what is. And when you have a pattern or a behavior that's kept you safe your whole life, you can't see it. It's like it's behind the curtain. It's just the water you're swimming in. And then as soon as you have someone peer into it to shine a mirror and you can see it, and I think a lot of times when we're in relationships with partners, they shine a mirror on us to see. And when you can use money as a relationship as shining a mirror to see those parts of yourself that you can't see,
Yeah, very good.
then what happens is you can run. You can say, forget it, I'm not doing anything. Or you could say, okay, there's something here that doesn't feel good. And the key is when it doesn't feel good, it's because you're feeling unsafe, because you've used it a certain way. And then you have to pay attention to what the body is doing to remind the body you're safe.
So when you're saying pay attention to what the body's doing, you're looking for the contracted state.
It could be holding your breath. It could be squeezing your butt. It could be all these, like, oh, or you're like, you sit, like I notice in a class that I'm teaching or something like that, I'll say something and I can feel it energetically in the room and someone just leans back.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. And they're either that or they go, what?
Yeah.
You know, in that there's a relationship with the behavior, the pattern.
So changing that pattern is to recognize the body language, is to be willing to see a pattern that might have served you in the past that no longer serve you now. And then how to make that move. A different relationship with money you shared.
The conflict I have in saying that is we assign a how, and it's so unique to different people.
Oh, that's true.
And having this book that you read of doing what you do and doing what you do will do like a real surface kind of shift. And then some people just leave it there. And then when stress happens, a recession happens, the roof caves in, they're gone back to their old pattern. That's what happens historically. And that's why there's the ups and downs of roller coaster income.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it's an unconscious pattern that you have that's wired into your nervous system. So to undo that, it takes, in a lot of the work that I do, it's really about, we do some hypnosis, we do some journeying, we do some breath work, we do some unlocking some of the energetic blocks that are going on in your body.
So I recall this in your workshop. I recall this. In your workshop, you point out that the relationship with money isn't out here as much as it's in within, and how I emotionally and physically respond to it is the better word.
No, those are the indicators.
Okay.
Those are like, so like when we do the intergenerational work, you'll see, okay, I can see mom does that. I can see dad does that. But you never go, where do I do that? You can go, oh, I can see my boyfriend does that. My husband does that. Oh, you can see how all these other people, but when do you go, what do I do? And that is a harder job to do on your own.
Okay, so what would be, so this is lots of layers. And what would be one of the things or two things that maybe people could take away to really capture their relationship or changing their pattern?
Okay, so
Oh,
let's
really?
name maybe 5 behaviors that
Okay.
people might generally identify with,
Okay.
like the sense of not having enough,
Okay, that's
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, there's never enough. I never have enough. And
Right.
what it does is it makes you like, and then you might compare to people. Can you feel it in your body? Like, what does your body do?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pattern. What is this feeling of not enough doing for you? Because it is a pattern that it's your intelligence trying to keep you safe. Okay? That if you are in high alert of there never being enough,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to notice when something goes bad.
Ah, yes. Yes.
It's controlling, saving every penny, holding it together, tracking everything, doing all of that kind of stuff. That behavior, if you feel that in your body, people pat you on the back and they say, oh, you got great savings, you got this. But it's a pattern. It's a pattern that's sanctioned in this reality, but it's still not a healthy behavior with money. And that's control. And the control is so that you feel safe and secure and there's certainty. Because maybe on some level you didn't have certainty. And this is how you create certainty.
Okay.
Avoiding, not looking at money, not wanting to pay attention, or just, I'm bad with numbers, I'm not good with this. That is protecting your nervous system because you feel like if you looked at it, you just get overwhelmed. So this is a pattern that protects you by avoiding. Overspending, like just buying impulsively and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That pattern shows you that you're valuable or worthy, or it make you feel like you're important.
Okay.
Or it could make you feel just a lot of comfort. You press buy on that little Amazon thing and you're like, there's a relaxation in you. So you're soothing yourself because the anxiety of seeing actually what's really happening is too much.
Right.
So when you notice, it's what happens when people start this first level is they look at the pattern and they go, oh my God, I can't do that. I'm terrible. Oh, I have to self-soothe. I have no worth. I don't believe in myself. I'm scared. I'm scarcity because I come from a background of farmers, or I'm scarcity because I don't have generosity, or it all comes with this shame and judgment.
Okay.
And nothing will change with shame and judgment. We have to look at it, hold it, and say, oh, look.
What about, there's something that's coming up for me. What about the fear of, oh, if I love money too much, what if I get greedy or something like that?
That's a good one. That's a good one. So it's the guilt of wanting more. The guilt of wanting more is an image, your image control. You don't want what other people are going to say to you. And that could mean that you're protecting yourself from being cast away or outcast. So you want to belong. So you want it, but you don't want to tell anyone about it because they might not want to be your friend. Or it could be you want all these things because it's going to give you what you've decided success is.
Okay.
And then when you get there, you realize it's not true. But you have this image that my mom and dad wanted me to be successful, so I need to have that car, that house, that this, and then I can prove that I'm actually a worthy person. It could be 100 things. But.
Right. So in recognizing, so you've named several things that people can recognize, and I recognize too, shifting that into something of a pattern that is of what you're pointing to. So a pattern of a real relationship with money.
Yeah. So like your patterns also have a gift to them. Okay. So if you are doing scarcity, okay, where you're like,
if I'm doing
scarcity, like, oh my gosh, there's not enough, and that kind of thing. If the flip side of scarcity is discernment, because you're like, oh, okay, I'm paying attention, right? If you're doing control, and like controlling all the money. The positive side of that is paying attention, like just paying attention and knowing where the money is going and being aware of it.
Okay.
If you're doing what you had said about, I want all these things, like you have all these desires and everything like that, as you and I being a manifest generator, that the flip side of that is clarity. Clarity of what you want, what you love, what you desire. So every pattern that you have, there's a positive and a negative to it. And it's an unpacking, like it's a layer by layer. And then you get down to the core of it. And then there's more. And then, but then you have, and that's where the relationship happens.
Okay.
Because I think we all have a bit of a surface relationship of what a good relationship with money and what a bad one is. But it's so nuanced, just like every relationship. So as we get deeper and deeper into it and treat ourselves more compassionately to it, then it becomes a relationship of love and connection.
Okay. So to have a love relationship with money, which in working with you, I'm learning it's a different kind of relationship. The love relationship isn't standard across the board. All love relationships are different. The love relationship, I love food, but I have a relationship with a certain healthy type of food because that's my relationship. So what I'm learning about money is my relationship with money is this partnership. It feels like but now it's taking, not only do I want this partnership with money because I learned this when I was working with you, but it's now all things. I want that kind of partnership in in every relationship, that same kind of feel, that same kind of feel in my body. Do you have any suggestions for the listeners of this?
I do think that working with someone and having a mirror with money is really important. Journaling about your relationship with money, like what does money mean to you? Maybe even have money write a letter to you to see what would money say to you and what would you say to money. And it's gestalting basically. You put the other character that you're working with in a chair across from you and you have a discussion with them.
It works sometimes.
Yeah. And that will shed some light on what's happening. And I just invite you, don't judge it. Just be curious, be gentle, and just go, wow, how has this relationship been serving me? Not how has it not been serving me?
I think that point that you made of writing a letter to money as if you're writing a letter to a good friend and having that good friend write that letter back to you. That's really
well. Don't start it with a good friend because money's not always a good friend.
Oh yeah.
You want to write an authentic letter.
Right.
If you're hating money and you're like think it's
or
dirty or greedy or you're afraid of it, write every single thing that you feel about it. Don't candy coat it.
Okay, that's a really good point. Is there anything else that you would like to share around it?
Just that you are on a journey. We're all on a journey with money. And just like any relationship, it gets deeper and deeper. And the intimacy that we create with it is one of the most greatest gifts you can give yourself.
Okay, beautiful. Isn't that great? I feel it too. And if people want to get in touch with you or maybe do some of your classes that I think are amazing, she does online. They're just really, truly sincere, amazing. The people who come are really achievers, and yet some aren't. And they become in their own right. Is there a way that people can find you?
You can go to brendastlouis.com, and I have the Intergenerational Money Reset that I offer 3 times a year, and it's a movement. And once you've signed up for it, you're in it forever.
Nice.
And it's really about changing our history and having a ripple go out so it changes everyone. And it's easier and easier for the next person. So the more people in it, the better.
So is there like a website or a link? How do people find you?
BrendaStLouis.com. And all of that would be on my website.
Okay.
And I think probably in the notes, I can give you a link that people can explore the different pieces to that as well.
Wow, great. So I hope this was helpful with you for the relationship with money, looking at patterns, shifting it to a pattern that is a relationship that you want today, and maybe contacting Brenda. It's, in my books, absolutely worth it, no matter where you are in the world. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
I love what you're creating in the world, and this is amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. And let's just take a moment. We'll just do that Zen breath and just really give all the words and information that came and what's coming up for you today. Just get really nice and centered. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. May you be blessed, and may you take these blessings out into the world. Namaste.
Thank you for listening to the Zen Den with your host, Maggie Calder. We hope this episode has provided you with a moment of peace in your busy day. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with someone who could use a little love today. To learn more about Maggie's offerings, visit thezenden.world or email us at thezendenworld@gmail.com. You will find us on all the social media platforms too. In kindness from all of us at the Zen Den, be well.
This podcast was made with love from Shikonomi and the global community of Podcast Hers.